Welcome. Hello, I am Dana. If you do not know me, I run AI Writing Easy as Fuck for Authors over on School. I also run a Facebook group called First Drafts. And then I've opened up a new school that is also um, open claw for authors, Easy as Fuck for Authors. Which I honestly just opened yesterday, and I'm surprised by the number of people that are in there. So that tells me that someone apparently trusts me when I say that something's really cool. Um, but just to give you a little bit of background about me, because there are a ton of new people, and I never expected this. I never expected to go from like we were very close knit. There's about 100 of us. I know that that sounds really weird to being close knit, but there were about 100 of us that started, and we were just like, it was very, if you go back in time, it was very, very engaging, very, very small group like, and I never expected it to get to over 850 people. It was just supposed to be a group for me to help people learn how to use the codex and outlines that I provide. And to actually I found that there was a hole. People didn't know what to do with them once they had them, and to get people to be able to write with them and to be able to finish the books because you guys bought the dang outline. It's meant to be published, so please do. But to give you a little bit of background about me, I have been in the online marketing business for over 30 years. I think 34, somewhere around there. And I'm also a whale reader. I have already read, what month are we in? Five, almost six. And so we're into almost into June, and I'm already over 300 books this year. And that does not include the books that I read for myself that are my books that I'm editing. So I don't even count those. I read a lot. I'm well known for if I do take a break, if you guys do not see me online after 5 o'clock in the morning, then most likely I have just parked my ass somewhere and I'm reading probably five books. Um, and that's my hobby. Thank goodness you guys put books into KU because I don't think that I would be married if I spent all of our money on that with the amount of books that I read. But with the invention of KU and with online libraries, I've been able to flourish. I'll say that because driving to a library is way too much work for me. And also, I can't hold books the same way that I could previously. I have like a whole bunch of books that we're giving away. But my background is also in computers. Back in, believe it or not, the 80s, going into the 90s, going into moving on. I've had computer stores with my husband. I've built websites. I had a web design business. I used to code by hand. And right now we are it's funny, someone said to me today, it was the Wild West of um, AI. We don't know what's happening. We really don't. We don't know where this is going. It is going so fast that everything is changing so quickly. And I think that that's why people such as yourselves, authors such as yourselves, you may use it to write, you may use it to market. You're looking for little pieces. Uh, and it's changing so fast. Um, that we honestly don't know where it's going and we're adapting to everything. So that's why like I opened up the open claw thing because that's not for everyone. That's definitely not for everyone, but my little penguins are really cute. I really like my little penguins and so I'm really happy with it, but I don't recommend everything to everyone. Certain things are to be liked, certain things are not to be liked, certain things will work for you, certain things will not work for you. We've all seen the changes. Claude goes from one end to the extreme where he is an amazing prose writer and then just drops the shit. And I don't know what he's thinking. Um, I have had no one There is actually something on OpenClaw, and that's actually one of the things that I'm doing. My first whole class over there is on the thing of OpenClaw, and my TBR is like I really I don't know. I read brain dead stuff, so I'm not sure everyone would really appreciate my TBR list. Um, so I'm not going to go into OpenClaw because I'm not going to scare you all tonight. I will do that another time, though. It's interesting. I'll put it that way. But pretty much I've built an entire agency over there, a publishing agency, and I'm working on making it more cost effective right now. Um, Back to where I was. Y'all are distracting me. Go away. Um, but what you see from me is what you get. You see me. I'm not dressed up. I mean, my gosh, I'm in South Carolina and the humidity here is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to dress myself up. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Do I think you need every single tool that I have? Absolutely not. If you can't afford it, then don't buy it. I get that. Or buy the ones that you need. I'm not here to sell a bunch of stuff. I'm so against that on so many different levels that I don't think everyone needs a subscription to everything. I think that you need to find the tools and what works for you. The neat thing about the plugins that I have created is that now they work over with chat with their codex system. And I'm also able to bring them into and create agents, which are just like little people that do my little bidding in OpenClaw. So it's transferring everything, one thing to another to depending on what your goal is. And I'm quite happy with Claude Cowork. Do not think that I do not like it, that I'm going to dump it all because I did that. I want to make sure that everyone understands that. Um, because I actually use Claude to build some of my stuff that's going into OpenClaw. So, that being said, what we're going to be talking about today is actually one of my favorite things to discuss. Because as a whale reader, you guys have a lot of books, right? Okay, even if you don't. Even if you have, say, 5 books out, but you wanna know why it's not selling. I've actually done presentations with different, groups about what makes me click on a book. What makes me want to read your book? And believe it or not, I'm not reading your blurb. And that's what's really funny, is that I'm looking at your cover or your ad, artwork, and I don't give a shit as a reader if it's AI. And this was even before I started in the AI world. Um, I didn't care. I've found out since I've come into this world, some of the authors that I have binge read used AI to write their books. And you know what? I did not care. So I know that there are a lot of witch hunts out there. And I know that I see it, I watch it, I stay out of it. Why? Because it's stupid. Um, it is. It's just very, very stupid. We all know that as writers that are using it in whatever way, shape, or form we want to. I know some that still write by hand, like literally pen and paper, that are still using AI though to edit, that are using AI to help build their outlines. This is where it all comes into play. So, what we are going to go over tonight is we are going to revitalize books that maybe not be selling as well as you think that they should be. Because all because you wrote it a year ago doesn't mean it sucks. And I'm the first person to tell you that my first books did suck. Um, and I actually probably at some point, probably after July, will go through some of them and fix some of them and update some because they're good. Um, but they're fun stories, they're fun escapisms. So we're going to go over it. We're going to have you decide whether or not should you even do that or not, right? Should you even do it? So let's go into this beautiful. I did a slideshow, and most of you know, and you all can laugh all you want. I don't do notes, but I did notes on this one because I had a lot to say. So I do have notes over here and I'm going to go over it. If you have questions during it, please let me know. Because there are a lot of things that can happen and I go fast because we only have 90 minutes. So do you guys see my cool little slideshow here? I hope you do. Okay. So, hi Jason. Um, so most of us pour everything into the next launch, right? We sit there and we put out a book and we're just like on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. But then what happens to that book? Say those books aren't selling. Why aren't they selling? What's happening? Why didn't they? We go back and we look and we're like, but that was such an awesome series. I have one in particular that honestly my daughter thought it was like amazing, and that was really, and she doesn't lie to me with that sort of thing because she does know that I'm like, okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a system. If you have learned anything from me, it is the fact that I like systems. I'm big into systems. I want to do systems are life is honestly what I did before I even did this. The last business that I ran, it was honestly creating systems for people. So you kind of get the ideas that I like systems. This is a quick map of where we're headed. Okay. There's one framework and then it has 4 phases. You're going to come up with 1 page action to leave with. And I'm also going to show you shortcuts. See, this part isn't in my notes. This is why I do this. I'm going to show you shortcuts though, because the backlist revitalizer, I am going to open that up to VIP on Monday. It's not even supposed to be out until August, or yeah, because I think it's not available to the public until September. But I am going to release that based on this class. I went ahead and decided to do that. But if you don't have it, there are other shortcuts with other plugins that you can figure this all out. And some of it, honestly, is just freaking ask Claude what the hell's going on with it. Ask Chat. Chat, I swear, is a better marketer. So we're going to go on it. The biggest thing is you want the return of invest on your investment. I had a wonderful hour-long, mind-numbing conversation with our accountant last night. And it was literally mind-numbing. I had to text Joe in the middle of it to please bring me another alcoholic adult beverage because it was just out there. And he ran out of the room as fast as he could before the accountant realized he had come in the room. So what we want to do is decide what's worth your time. If it's not worth your time, then don't put the energy into it. Plain and simple. Return on investment includes your time. And I don't think a lot of people think of that. They just look at the money. And you can't just look at the money. You have to look at your time and your energy. Okay, it might suck. So what's the next thing? If it's not worth revitalizing, put it aside. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to kill you. It might be a passion project to come back to. Oops. All right. First is your mindset. Your backlist is leverage. Every marketing dollar should lift the whole catalog, blah, 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 blah. Okay, hold on. I need to make that smaller because that's just like way too much information that I just don't care. We're working on everything. I don't know. I just see that my sound bar says that I'm here. That's all I can tell you. So the 4 phase framework is to diagnose if it should be, revive, repackage, and remarket. So yeah, this I already had this set up with the school thing because school's faster than Zoom. So workshops will be in school, and I will probably do other classes in Zoom. Um, then you need the right tool, which plugin to reach for at each step and what it actually does. Because a lot of you are looking and downloading every single plugin that I have. Um, I actually had someone, and I hate this, and at some point I will figure out a way to fix this, who paid the $97 and then downloaded every single thing that I have and left. And so I think that that's shitty, but it is what it is, which is why I would like the drop schedule, but I might have to do something else. Yes, I don't know why the sound gets goofy. So what we're going to do is revive one real series this month and report back on what moved. So if you have a book that's not selling, it could be a book, it could be a series. We're going to go over everything. All right. I don't even know why I have the notes. I'm not even reading them. Oops. So the mindset shift. I really want to say shit. Backlist as an asset. That's your brain. Your brain needs to think of that. It is an asset. Whether or not you think it is, because it might not be making money, but why is it not making money? Name your candidate series. That's what I want you guys to do. Find which series, which books you're going to work on. If you don't have a complete series yet, that's okay, but look at what's working and what's not. We're going to diagnose what's worth reviving. Then we're going to score it. We're going to decide whether or not, do a read through, do a gut check. You have to come across this not as you have to think of it not as an author with, I love this book, blah, 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 like I do with mine. I have to see if it's marketable, right? I can't just go ahead and just load up all the books and everything and keep doing that if it's not making me money, even though it can make me happy. It That's not the end goal. The end goal is to have money come into my bank account every month, um, more than what came in last month. And that's my final goal. And I think that most everyone, I don't know if anyone else doesn't want that. If you don't want that, you're probably in the wrong group. If you do want that, you're in the right group and we can move on and let's make it happen. So choose your lever, figure out what it's going to do, see how to make it happen, repackage and fix it. If something's not working, fix it. Then remarket the catalog and figure out how to market it better. Then we're going to have an action plan and a question and answer section at the end of this whole thing. So lead with the reframe before any tools. Most authors are sitting on an annuity and treating it like fireworks show. Okay. So I had a weird thought at one point, and this is what comes up. You guys, it's really funny because I put all of these things in notes, and it's fun to see how Claude decides to interpret my thought process, which is this. And pretty much, instead of looking at books, we're looking at okay, I released a book. What's it doing? What's it doing? What's it doing? Refresh, refresh, refresh. And we get excited if we see sales. We get excited if it moves up it, in whatever genre. If it's, when I release a book, I'm nosy. I want to see. But instead, and then what happens with a fireworks show? It ends, right? You've got an hour and then it's over. And then we're all like, yay, it was really pretty. And then now what? So we're waiting for the next big thing. So does that happen again? Do we throw another fireworks show? No. What we're doing is we're going to establish that. So instead of being a firework, it's building on itself. It's establishing you. It's building a foundation. Instead of a fireworks show, I want a house. I know that that's a really weird mindset, but I would rather build a house and build a foundation and walls and things like that so that the house, and speaking of my accountant, when talking to him, he's like, real property is always something that's going to increase at some point. It might not seem like it today, but in the long run, it will. So, what we want to do is take your backlist and build it into a house, something that is real property that will increase. Book isn't a fireworks show, it's an annuity, blah, 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 blah. Huge launch, a few bright weeks, then it goes dark. The book is done, attention moves to the next idea. How many have that problem? I do. It's why we end up having so many pen names, I think, in some ways, and I'll call myself out on this one a lot. I have an idea, I push it, it does very well, and then I'm done, right? Then it pays very little, and then I get frustrated, and it's just like I'll drop the pen name because why the hell should I have that pen name when it sucks? And it's actually not that it sucks, I just forget to keep marketing it because I've moved on to the next big thing. And so that's what we don't want to do. And this is actually one of the things that I do with Claude and with what I do with the new open Claude with my penguin Claw dude. Um, he set up specific things and he put them all in my calendar of things that I have to do. So I'm not looking at it as this is building. And so it's not making it so I'm exhausted every day. It's so that I can build it and sustain it without stressing myself out, and that I get to go play pickleball, I get to go play golf, I get to go do anything like this. You honestly, so the question is how to find time for all of this. It takes a lot less time than you think. Um, and if you schedule it in, like I was talking to someone earlier, I don't know if they're in the class or not because I don't have all the people name up. But what I said was they have 3 pen names. How many times should they publish? Well, get in a schedule where you're publishing one book a week, but you have to work up to that, right? With each pen name. So it doesn't seem like you're loading up everything. So then you work a little bit. Like with my calendar, I have, I don't know, he threw stuff on my calendar today. And so I know what I have to do. All my posts for the next week are already done. That took maybe 5 minutes. So it all has to do with setting it up. Yes, you're going to spend probably a little bit more time, especially when you get into having to promote stuff and you're not just throwing money at ads, which is a whole other thing. Um, but like I've said in a couple other of the classes with social media, I schedule everything out for 3 months. So then once it's all done, I don't do it again for another 3 months. So it kind of rotates through. I'm probably going to start doing that once a month though, based on a release schedule and work from there once I figure that all out. But it doesn't take a whole heck of a lot of time. You set the time aside to do it one step every now and then and figure out what you want to do. The fastest way to revive a series is almost never a new ad. I know some people would like me to fix that. It's a new book in that series, whether it be a prequel, whether it be a new cover, whether it be a fresh blurb, whether you throw it in an audiobook format. You need one new thing to change the whole aspect and the whole outlook. Because if I throw out a prequel or say even a side book, like with cozies, I love throwing out little recipe books with a story, and people love them. Like, especially because, okay, most all the time they're drinks things. Um, and I can test drinks, no problem whatsoever. Um, and it's really funny. So, total side note, I've actually taken some of my drinks up to the bar at the place I live in Florida, and I've asked them if they could make it so I could see if it works and if it tastes good. And they laugh at me all the time. And I mean, it works for me because I don't mix drinks and I don't want to have all the alcohol in the house. So a backlist isn't a pile of books, it's a funnel. Yes. It does make it a business expense. Follow me for more tips, Jason. You know that. Yeah, I mean, that's perfect. Like, Nicole says she has one that takes place in New Orleans and included some of her personal recipes. That's genius. Um, that sort of thing people absolutely love. So what you want to do is get them to want to, you want to get, I want you all to look at me as your ideal reader because I read everything except for splatterpunk. I, I don't understand that concept. I think we won't go there. Um, so there's very few genres that I won't read, right? And some might not be my best ones, but it's a whatever. But if you get me to like your writing and you've engaged me in the story, I'm clicking book one, two, three, four, and five. You need to know your read through. You need to know where people are going afterwards. Are you telling me at the end of book one that you have book two? Or are you just leaving me hanging, not sharing anything about your next book? Are you not sharing? And I will tell you also, I don't read your beginning chapter in there because if your book's already on KU, I'm clicking buy or rent or borrow, whatever the heck the words are now. So that sort of thing is there as well. So make sure that you're inviting people. It goes into if you aren't marketing, if you are not selling to me because you don't want to be salesy, I'm not going to continue reading. You have to sell me on your book at all times. And unfortunately, we have to do that. And it's a continuous thing. And I am the person that will read. I think on one series that I'm reading now, I think I just finished like book 8 last night. I don't know. I don't even bother figuring out what it is. I just keep clicking next. I don't even know how many books are in the series. I just know it had more than 3 ready to go. Now, this is another thing I want you to think about. If you are advertising, like ads, please have more than 1 book out. Just saying, in a series, we don't want to read just 1 book and have to wait another 4 months for your other books. I actually stock books that I have ready to go. So it's whatever. There we go. Yeah, I had the same thing happen. That has 35 books in the series. You stopped at 32. Yeah, and now he has 62 books. I want to know what the series. Yeah, I won't watch a TV show with well, okay, sometimes I will. It really depends on the TV show. So, what's the oldest book that you published that you haven't touched in 12 months? If you are newer, oh, that one I read. I read that one. It really has 65 in it already? Damn. I read that series. Um, so what's the oldest book? Does anyone have the oldest book that they published that they haven't touched that they think would be good? Does anyone have one? Yeah, you probably have one. It could be in the last 3 months that you think is really good. Yep, several. Okay, so what would happen, you think, if you gave it just a little bit of attention um, in the next 30 days? What do you think? Or 30 days of attention? What do you think would happen? Do you think that people would look at it? My first series sucked, but oh my gosh, does it have a following? And it's so weird. And I tell everyone all the time, please do not read that book. Please do not read the series. It really depends. You may not have to. Did you get decent reviews on it? I mean, this is a whole thing. If believe it or not, oh, I don't even have them in here. Guys, I have Harlequin books. Okay. I bought them. They're from the 90s and I still enjoy reading them. It has nothing to do with whether or not they're, whatever. Could they use some remarketing? Oh, hell yes. So name your character candidate series. Pick a series you'll carry through all 4 phases. Okay? Pick one. It doesn't need to, you don't need to tell me which one it is. You don't need to do that. I want you to write it down and blah, 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 blah. Then I want you to write down how many does it have? When was the last one published? Did readers like it? Did they love it? Give it a 1 to 10 score of what you think that people, what was the feedback on it? Hold on to it. You'll run through a diagnosis, revive, repackage, and remarket thing. Okay? Hold on to it. You're not going to do this all at the same time. Yeah, thank you, Terry. Thank you. I would like a gold star. You know that. I'm very proud of myself for even remembering to do it. And I had to update them like 10 minutes before I started talking. So this is the sequence. We're going to diagnose, pick the series you want to revive, the one with a pulse. Okay. If it's a dead series, like absolutely dead, don't bother. Like I have one series that is absolutely dead. There's no reviving. No one ever touched it. It's not worth it to me, right? It sucked. So do I need to continue the series? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Do I need to repackage it? Do I need to remarket it? We're going to assess all of these little things. You can see this is kind of repetitive, and it's repetitive on a purpose. So the flagship command. Da, da, da. I know this one was actually a lot of fun. So I actually have I do appreciate sound tracks and sound effects when I do things. Backlist Revitalizer, which I did say is going to be added to the drops for June. So it should drop on Monday but the public will not get it until I think it said September. So VIP though is going to get it so that you guys can do that stuff like right away. This runs everything for you. This is one piece. You just type in revitalize my backlist and it's going to go through. You're going to tell it what you want to give it, and it's going to go through everything. Now, this could, from books you already wrote, yeah, okay. We're being conservative here because some people they're making a lot more than this, so it can do an additional $500 to $2,000 a year just by that, just by spending just a little bit of time on it and figuring out what needs to happen with it. It could do a lot more than that. One of them I repackaged. One of the test ones that I did for this, I repackaged it. I put a new cover on it. I didn't advertise it anywhere different, right? I didn't put anything else out there or anything. And the sales for that one increased by 20%. So I can't give you a number amount because I don't pay attention to all that. That's data, and my system does all the data, and I just look at it and come up with the final numbers because I don't really worry about it that much. But that time that I put into it equaled more revenue. Was the revenue for me worth it? Yes, because all it needed was a new cover and a couple little doohickeys on the blurb because the blurb didn't attract attention. It was very boring. So learning all of these things help. You want to be specific. You want revenue first. If you've been through the CEO classes with VIP, we talked about money. This is big. I'm big into getting money first to you versus putting it all out there in every single thing that you can possibly imagine. So have ready before you run it, feed it your catalog and get a money map. Okay. It's going to create this Excel workbook, which is going to give you a catalog overview, book by book analysis, prioritized actions. You can see this is a big one. It runs right up there with the book command center and all that stuff. It's going to also give you an executive summary of what you should do. The top 2 to 3 opportunities, findings by books and series, week by week roadmaps, quick wins, strategic ongoing series, and box set strategy. Blah. There's a lot. Have ready before you run it. Pen names and book titles or Amazon author URLs will work. Your KDP sales reports for the last 90 days. Make sure you grab them. Okay. Which books are in a series and the order? Your number one goal, maximize revenue, fix studs, or read through. What are you looking to do? Because that's the thing. Not everyone is looking for the big jump. Um, when we played pickleball, Joe and I were talking, and you're talking and you're analyzing the people you're playing against at all times in any sport. You're always looking. Well, specifically in pickleball, there's people that are looking for, we call them one hit wonders. Um, they're always looking for that magic shot, the magic shot that's going to get them a point. Well, in order for them to get that magic shot, most of them end up failing. Their ball goes out. They hit it into the net. It's like way out there. They might as well be playing baseball at that thing, right? Can you change titles? That might come against Amazon having an issue with it, but I have added subtitles. I've added subtitles that were actually SEO benefited me, and had no issues. But changing titles, I think it could do. Yes. So yeah, there's a whole thing. Oh, trust me, they know a lot more. Everyone, all these authors that are so worried about AI learning their stuff, I guarantee you, Amazon has Claude running in that background doing half this work and analyzing stuff. The number of bots they have, I guarantee you they know exactly what it is. When they do that live preview, they're scanning everything. So what it analyzes per book, the sales revenue, 90-day trends, KU borrows, returns. Yeah, it learns patterns. It doesn't memorize stuff. Cover blurbs and category placements. All 7 keyword slots, make sure that they're working right. Make sure that you have them up to date and what's working. Pricing strategy. This is a new one for me. I really wasn't sure what to price books at. I do have somewhere listed a free, I need to put it in the beginner class, but a free pricing guide, because that was new. Read through book 1, 2, and 3, and review metrics, and audiobook potential. Now, audiobook potential is not necessarily always going on Audible or Spotify or anything. As many of you know, I have a YouTube channel, and so that's an option if it is clean. If it is spicy, do not put it on YouTube. You're never going to get monetized. But that's playing a long game there. So diagnose. Don't revive everything. Revive what has a pulse. In other words, don't revive every single one of your books. Pull the numbers first. You all know I don't like data. I hate it, because I've read data for so many years that I swear I'm wearing glasses because of the things I used to do. Coding by hand, building websites by hand, line by line, um, doing all of this stuff just killed my eyes and data. So I don't look at it anymore. Instead, what I do is I have Claude do it for me and tell me exactly give me a summary of what's happening. And that's what this does. So pull the numbers first. It's going to read the signals. It's going to look at it and see what your series or books need. Then hunt the almost series. Maybe 3 books sold. Like I have a series that's 2 books, and both of the books get a lot of 5-star reviews. And I just kind of have left it go, and I like it. So run the business lens. Is this a business or a hobby? You all know that I am big into turning this into a business and for everyone to change their mindset that this is a business. It is not just for fun. We like to have fun because that's who we are. And we create amazing escapisms for people. But what we need to do is make sure that you are looking at this as a business. Yes, making money is fun. It's a lot more fun to see money come into our account than it is for it to go out. Plain and simple. So, know which series is worth your time. The data coach is going to do that. It calculates 5 KPIs every indie must track, runs a 7-point flag scan, and builds a weekly tracker. I don't do that. Just saying. I don't do a weekly tracker. I let it track for me. And you can build all of that within Claude for it to track where everything is. I just download the data and upload it into Claude and tell it to please tell me where I'm at. And I do not do it every week. I do it every other week. That's just me. The indie publishing strategist. These are different ones. This is not the backlist revitalizer. These are actual individual things. The CEO mode, you guys got it. You all have all of these things somewhere in a plugin somewhere. So use it when. Use the data coach when you need to know which series is actually worth investing in. Use the indie publishing strategist when you want data driven what's next across the catalog. Use the CEO mode if you want to get a gut check on whether it's right for you. Is it going to make you money? Should it be a priority? It runs the profit first allocations. If you've never heard of profit first, please look at it. I did a post the other day that kind of showed you what my thing looks like, and I put in all my deposits and it puts it on in the nice little envelopes, and it tells me what I should do. And I put in my when I let money out, it takes it out of the right places, and it shows me how much I've saved to pay taxes, because apparently we are required to do that. Hate that. So score your series. Pull or estimate book 1 through 2 read throughs. If it's above 60%, it's a strong funnel. It's hungry, add a book. If it's below 40%, fix book 1. If I'm not reading to the second book, there's something wrong. You didn't end your series correctly, or you did not end the book correctly, because I am the click through as long as you've got that. Diagnose the funnel. Is it hungry or leaky? Then commit out loud. You guys can do this in chat. You could do this to yourself. I don't care. Everyone has their own level of comfort when it comes to accountability. I hate accountability groups. You won't see me do that too much. If I do, it's usually because someone challenged me to. They stress me out. But you can just say it in chat if you want to. I've got no problem with that. If you want us to talk about it, if you want reviews, add it in there. That's what that whole group is for. So revived. Okay, continue the series. This is where most of the class's ahas lives. A new book 4 markets books 1, 2, and 3 for free. Believe it or not, a lot of times I'll click on book 4 in an ad and see that there are 3 books before it, and I will have to go back to book 1. And that's how you get me, because I need to know what happens in book 4, because I already looked at it and I want it. And so now I need to read books 1, 2, and 3. And you don't have to write it cold. Okay. Upload all the existing books, extract the story Bible, generate the next outline, and run the genre plugin to draft it. Same thing with the series creator does the same thing. Add them all. Tell it to add another book. You can also do the reader magnet factory, so it will look at your books to figure out if you should add a extra book and tell you what type. No, not all the books that I read end in cliffhangers, but standalones are tougher. But they don't all end in cliffhangers. A cozy mystery ends at the end of every book. But there's usually an underlining subplot that runs through the whole series, or at least runs through part of it, then it picks up another part. And the romance isn't ended at the end of book one. So each thing builds on the next thing. Even when you do a series that are all standalone books, introduce characters that you and give them a personality that your readers will want to know more. For example, like romance books, I'll read this one, and then the two main characters are the main characters, but there's a dude that, I like him a lot and I really want to know more about him, but he just shows up, right? So I want to read his. So if it's not a real series, but a group of books in the same genre, um, are they related in any way? Yeah, it can be that, but sometimes it's like, I really want to know what the dude is like. So if they're in mafia, make me want to read another one of your mafia books. Make me want to love your writing, but introduce me to, instead of doing standalone mafias, even with my mafia books, they're in sets of five and they're all standalones. You can read them in any order. They all hint at other characters. Yeah, I like staying in the world. If I like the world, I want to do that. I want to be with I want to be with my characters. And if you can make me like your characters that much or that world that much, then I'm not leaving it until you tell me to. Um, and believe it or not, authors tell me to. So it's like the series that I'm reading now. I finished whatever book number last night, and I could take it or leave it from here. She left me in a situation where it could go either way. I'm not stressed about it because I feel it's getting kind of repetitive. Um, but it's a good series. And then another series I was reading, I really wanted to stay in that world, and then she blew up my world by like changing her whole style in book five. So I did not finish that one. So um I don't need a cliffhanger. I do not need something like that to continue. I need to like your world. I need to like your style of writing. If I like your style of writing, I'm going to come back to you. Like I've done I did some whale reader beta read reports and intensive reports, and I really liked them. And I was very upset when they didn't send me book 2, 3, and 4. Luckily, they did later, but it took them a long time, and I was not happy about that. They needed to write faster. That's just me. Because some of them I really, really enjoyed, and they were all standalones. I didn't need to. I just really liked the characters. I thought that they were awesome. They were all assholes, but they were awesome. So figure out I would what I would do in that situation is I would give Claude all of those books and tell him, how can you make people want to read from one to the next, even though there's in standalones? There's no reason. Claude will answer a lot of questions. So plan and draft the next entry. Series continuation engine. That's your series creator. Okay. Story Bible generator. This is what it's going to do. The cover brief generator, we have that. And then the genre plugins will write the books and outline. The cover brief generator, that is an actual plugin. Someone was asking about that. It is a plugin. Don't ask me what all my plugins are because I do not know anymore. This is why I have them all in an Airtable database. But you can do all of these different things with each book. Plan the next 5 books. Plan the next spinoff. If it's a spinoff, then do it. Spinoffs can generate a lot more than I think people think. Spinoff series, related characters. It's very, very, we love this stuff. Choose which one you're going to do. A new book, series continuation, book fix. If you need the manuscript tech critique, cover brief, anything like that, commit to one thing or a new format. Say, this is an awesome book. Maybe I need an audiobook or translate the things. Oh my gosh, translators, German is like so hot right now, no matter what. And I've been doing well with it with every genre. So you can't tell me, I mean, from smut to can't think about it to whatever. So yeah, I mean, I have a series from Vella that did well on Vella, but did even better on YouTube, and then did actually okay as books, even though they sound really weird as books. So that sort of thing. But figure out what you're going to do. I don't think anyone should not have translations out there. Um, I personally think translations should not count towards your uploads per week, but we can argue that one later. But yeah, I mean, translations are amazing. They do very well. I've used both the translator plugin, and I've done very well with those. Um, but at the same time, I've also clicked the button on ones that I was not planning on doing. Um, for if you have KDP translations, whatever they're calling it, I've clicked those too, and it's done really well. So I'm seeing it in both markets. And I have not, on the ones that I got through Amazon, where I just click the button, I am not changing my cover because I'm too lazy at the moment. And I was just going through and clicking all of them. And they seem to be doing okay. They aren't hurting where I thought they were previously. And I don't know whether, most likely, Amazon is probably pushing them in some sort of way, shape, or form because it's theirs. But the ones that I did previously with Scribe Shadow and my own, I had to change the cover before they actually started making progress. The one with my little German edition banner did not do as well. Go figure. So repackage and fix it. Sometimes the series doesn't need more books, it needs the existing ones updated to stop leaking readers. Fix book one first. Common leaks, a weak opening, dated cover, thin blurb, a flat voice. Book one is the whole funnel to your whole world. Whether it just be um, your book one is introducing people to you. They're introducing you to not just your characters, but your writing style. Some authors I follow have like 6 different series. Each one has a ridiculous number of books in it. You know, I will read every single one of them just because I like their style. I like how they talk to me. I like their world. It is my escape. Um, and I absolutely love it. And I will follow them for years because of it. So that sort of thing. A proven series is a safe candidate for audiobook and translation. Demand is already validated. We just talked about that. Repackage what exists. If you have 3 books in a series, or I prefer 5, make it into an omnibus, box set, bundle, whatever, and it's a whole new thing. As a KU reader, I love those. If you have a set of 10, I'm downloading it and I'm reading all of them. Why? Because I don't have to keep clicking, and you only took up one of my 20 spaces for KU. I think it's 20. So take a look at this. These are all fake covers. Okay. Women's fiction, clutter, one is clear. I want you to look at the differences though. I totally would have bought the one on the left over here with Jay Harper, Whispers in Autumn. I would have bought that back 10 years ago, 13 years ago, right? Because that's what the style was. But this is the style now. We're into a cleaner look. Going back to Harlequin books, I actually had to remind him about this is actually before 2013 that you would have that. And Chat was very nice enough to make these images for me. So if you don't think Chat can do covers, I think you're wrong. Just saying. These were all done by Chat today. So he made my bodice ripping covers and he updated it to today. Yeah, plain covers are just fine. You don't need anything fancy. But you can see the difference between, yes, he is better than Ideogram lately, but I can't use him for bulk creation, so I'm very sad. But you can see the differences, right? This was a definite look for so many years. I could have gone and gotten the book actually for that. Um, but this is the cleaner look now. We're not into the whole castles. We're not into his shirt needing to be ripped open and flowery and everything else. We don't need that anymore. We actually now laugh at that. So you can kind of see. But can you see the difference of how here I'm going to spend a quarter? I don't want to do that. This is going to be $4.99. So this should be in the bargain bin at this stage. And this one. Yeah, I like grayscale too, actually. On some books. It depends on what it is. But I can also, oh, and one thing, make sure that your book cover looks good in grayscale. I know that that's really weird. And it's funny because I think it was Mal that said it during one of her classes like 2 years ago. I don't know. And it stuck with me because if the cover can't be read on Kindle, guess what we're reading, guys? We're reading it on a paper white screen. It's black and white. If you can't see it, I don't know what I'm reading or I'm not clicking it. It's a really weird thing. We like color because we like color. And then at the same time, though, it still needs to be read on a grayscale system. So, manuscript critique. It is out there. It is a 17 section editorial critique, tiered revision plan, blah, 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 blah. The Manuscript Editor Pro. This is the one I think that everyone absolutely loves within it. There is coming the multilingual version is coming. I'm still fixing that one. That will take me at least another month, I think. But use it if an old manuscript needs to be updated or just checked out. If you self published years ago and had an editor read it, it might need to be fixed. The voice doctor audits for 8 voice problems. Make sure it doesn't feel flat. One of the things that I noticed Claude 4.7, Opus 4.7 was doing was that he was very monotone. And when I ran Voice Doctor, he did fix that because that was just annoying. It was like very, very monotone. The translation analyzer plus translator will also look at which language to put the book into. That's not used as often as just the translator for most people, but yes, it will do research to figure it out too. It's just another thing. The YouTube audiobook research is actually in the YouTube class. Again, that one will be released to VIP in July. I will open that one up there. So remarket. The book already exists. You're mining the catalog, not creating from scratch. So you don't have to come up with a new idea. You just need to fix the idea that you already have. It makes a big difference. Your backlist is a content mind, okay? So it already exists. It's there. So now what do you need to do with it? It holds a dozen hooks in there. So you're looking to repurpose your social media as well. I've talked about author scale before. That's a good place to push it. Go ahead, put it in there, see how it does. Um, Reactivate your email list. Remind people you have that book, right? Ask people. This is one of my favorite ways to get people to buy something that I wrote like a long time ago, but need to remind people of. When I update the cover, I send it out and I say, "Do you like my new cover?" For the book, the content hasn't changed at all, but I put a new cover in there and I'm like, oh my God, I'll do it like some excited thing that, oh my gosh, I absolutely love my new cover. Let me know what you think, blah, blah, blah. And it's clickable. So it goes and people hopefully buy and read my book. Believe it or not, it works. It's a really weird thing, but people will do that just to see. Because for some strange odd reason, they think a new cover means a whole new book, and some of them have even already read it before. So stack promos and swaps, usually just with book one or prequel or even the recipe book or side story. Whatever works in that, that's what you want to do. We've discussed different things in different classes, but that's what you want to do. You're with your stacks and promos and everything else. I think that was the last workshop that we discussed. Um, there's no reason to just remind people that you have it. These people have already joined your group, right? They're on your email list. That means that they like you. At least they did at one point. So reactivate them, re-engage them by asking their opinions. Ask them what their favorite scenes were. They'll email you back. It's readers are strange. I'm not the one to email you back, but I found a lot of them don't. Okay, that's your job for this week. You need to figure that one out. Actually, June 13th is actually going to be email marketing, email list, and creating it and all that stuff. So, point traffic at the refreshed asset. You need to let them know. The book marketing suite. Guys, all of these things you guys have access to. Okay. The carousel and slideshow hooks, you can ask it. This is on author scale, but scroll stopping is coming. So that sort of thing. But the book talk content engine has it. You guys have all these things to be able to revitalize it without having to add in a new plugin. That's kind of my point with showing you all of these, because I was going back through everything and I was like, we have it. Yeah, we all do that. So I give you permission to put it off until June 13th. But every single piece of this stuff is inside of what we have already. Whether you are VIP, whether you buy each individual piece, whether you only buy one or two pieces, it doesn't matter. You can also just give your book to Claude and say, give me, actually, I take that back. I suggest giving it to Chat because he's a better marketer. So I would ask him, give your book to him and just say, read the book. Don't expect him to actually read it unless you tell him to read the whole thing. He's not the brightest. But he is cute. So we'll stick with cute. And he's really good at marketing. Ask him to find the hooks that would attract attention for people in X market. That will help you out with it. Giving it to something like author scale will definitely help. Um, with Chat, you can tell him to make you promotional images for it. Tell him I need character art for it. I need hot looking character art for my books. And he does amazing things. You just have to keep on him because he makes characters up. But the book talk engine will give you 30 days of TikTok reels, shorts, and whatever. It will give you all of that stuff to build. It will not give you the actual videos or the images, but it will tell you how to make them. I'm hoping if I could ever get it to work, to integrate it with Canva to go ahead and do that. So working on all of this stuff will help. You don't need anything else. You have all the tools to revitalize it. The biggest thing is figuring out which one works. Yeah, I get totally random book covers in Chat too. That's how I got that Mafia one that is like so hot, and I don't even have a name to write with that one. So this is what you're going to do again. See, I do with this a lot. I like to repeat myself. Run the data coach on the catalog, run backlist revitalizer, whatever. Ask Just ask. There's no reason why you can't just load up all your KDP information for the last 3 months and say, what series should I focus on? What book should I focus on? And how should I do it? Fix it, figure out what you need to do, ask them what to do. You do not need all the special, I'm being completely honest here. The plugins are guidelines. I would do this in Claude to figure out the data. Claude, data, chat, better for marketing. That's my personal opinion. But you don't need all the tools. The all of the plugins and everything are guidelines. They are established ways that I have gotten things to work. Plain and simple. Do you have to use them to get this data? No, you do not. There's no reason that you cannot take your KDP data, just that wonderful, I think it downloads in an Excel spreadsheet, I think, maybe a CSV file, upload it into Claude, tell him that you want to focus on possibly bringing some energy back into your books. Which ones would be the best ones to do it? Then he's going to give you ideas and he's going to talk a lot. He likes to do that. Then go back and figure out what the best option is. Tell him that you need options to do it. What are the best things that will make that one work best? And then you remarket it, whether it's with email, start advertising on social media for the book. Telling people, though, that you have a new cover is like such a big thing, believe it or not. So pick one series to revive this month. Run the numbers, choose your lever, get 30 days of remarketing. I know. Stop for a minute because that's the one that you all just backed away from. You're like, oh, hell no. Yes, you need 30 days of marketing. Okay. You don't need to do, well, I am a firm believer in doing all of that at once because I do not want to do it again. So if you get it done and you get it queued up, then you don't have to think about it anymore. Then you can move on to whatever else and it will take on a life of its own. With any type of social media marketing, I let it run. I go in and I check once a day. Most of the time, it's just vanity likes and saves and things like that. I don't bother. The only time I ever respond is if they say something that I need to respond to. Otherwise, I don't bother with it. Yes. They all want to do task completion. They all want to think that they're done. You do not need a new idea. That is your biggest thing to take away from this. You need to finish, fix, and resell the assets that you already have. It doesn't mean that you can't come up with a new idea and write a new book at the same time you're doing this. Once you figure out what it is that you need to do, you lay out a game plan and you set to figure out how it should work. I'm looking at my dog. He's chewing on something and just making sure Bug is not chewing on something he's not supposed to be chewing on. So it's not that you need to keep. One of the things I think as authors that we get exhausted with continually needing the new idea, the fresh idea, the new book out, the new book out, the new book out, the new book out. Do you see a pattern? That's how we get exhausted because it always needs to be the next new thing instead of building on something that we already have and working on it. Now, granted, that next new book might be huge, right? But at the same time, you can work on that next new idea while still at least making extra money on stuff that you already have. So these are all the command shortcuts, and everyone that has been in classes with me, um, they will, I think most of these are correct. Yeah, most of these are correct. But I do upload this stuff into the classroom as well, because I think it's important that you guys can go back through all this stuff because all of these things are so much information. But while we have this up here, does anyone have any questions? I even left time for questions. I'm impressed with myself. The other day I did not. Yes, data coach is within the backlist revitalizer. And I actually think that there is a data coach, but I don't know if I ever released it, but I do have one. I'm glad that you could make it too. Thank you so much. This is like a whole new thing. Yeah, this I found out that this is helpful. Making sure it actually put the correct ones in, and it's not necessarily all correct. Some of them might not be completely released yet. Because this one, usually when I build these things, I build them off of my lap or my desktop so that it doesn't pick up on all the ones that I create just for me. But I think we were good on this one. Long hair. So does anyone have any questions of where to start, what to do? What are you thinking? New functions of Claude for this with the new Opus 4.8? Is that what you're talking about? Because these are all within plugins. Dispatch. So what dispatch is if my computer is on and I am connected to it. For example, my phone can talk to the one down in Florida to do certain things. That's what it does. It is running it within it. It is not, I would not run these like that. I would not run it with dispatch. I get mixed results with dispatch. He doesn't know everything. He's working pretty much as a chat within that computer system. So that computer has to be on and working. So can I use dispatch? Yes. Do I use the plugins with dispatch? No. Yeah, Notebook LM is really good to do it. But I don't, it can work. Um, so in that situation, I would take a look. Um, I would not plan on doing anything like that until you have at least 3 books out of each one. I don't consider anything a series, and you'll get more readers once you have more books out. You have to turn off sleep. You have to tell it not to go to sleep. If you tell your computer not to go to sleep, there are controls in the settings that will do that. Um, and what I do is I just turn off the monitor on my desktop. But you do have to let the computer know not to go to sleep. As a reader, um, yeah, Claude Desktop does have it, but my Mac will override that and put it to sleep. There's also a setting that says, do you want to wake up somewhere in there as well? And it will wake up. I've been finding that out because apparently it does. Hey, I think Apple's superior anyway, and you never would have heard me say that like 10 years ago. Yeah, so I had to go in and tell it never to go to sleep. I need commission on the, Mac on people buying Mac stuff, I really do. So, hold on, there's another thing here. So, I started out with a Mac Mini, um, and I really, really liked it. I needed a desktop and I needed something to do certain things, and I actually have the M1 Mac Mini, and that is my desktop, um, but it was the cheaper option, believe it or not. And you're talking to someone that has this is my second MacBook Pro. It's completely maxed out on the new one, um, on the M4. It's maxed out. I don't think I can add anything else to this one. Um, yeah, I have a gaming laptop as well. So if you know anything about gaming, it costs close to what this. Well, no, it's about half of what this one was expensive. But I still prefer this. But the other one's just for gaming. And then I have my Mac Mini. But I gave my other MacBook Pro to my daughter, and that one's like 4 years old, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just needed something bigger. I just play video games against people. I play role playing games. Well, multiplayer, multiplayer online role playing games, all that stuff. No, Elder Scrolls Online was the last one we played. I really liked it. And I think that my husband wants to get back into it because he brought it up the other day and I had to remind him. Yeah, that. So don't, okay, so we totally went off on a tangent, but the basis of that is dispatch does not necessarily work with all these things. It is not the best thing for that. I do not like split screen co ops. I need my own screen. Or when we play on the Xbox, we are on one screen. So we actually look for that multiplayer, but it has to be on one screen, not split. I get dizzy. But we each have a gaming laptop, the same one. We have two of them. I think his, though, is a 17-inch and mine is a 15-inch. I'm younger. My eyes are better. If you have a book that you think that if actually his eyes are better, so we're going to we're just going to shut our mouth at that one. Um, I'm going to be honest with you though. Um, if you are if you aren't sure of what you should do for any type of revitalizing any of your backlist, or you want something quick to make money, and I would do translations in a heartbeat. I would do translations and just get them out there and not worry about it, and then come back to it. You all deal with my husband like at least once a month. So he doesn't understand the whole school thing. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, so we have Scribe Shadow. I got decent reviews with mine. I got equally good reviews with, and it didn't cost me $50 a month. Um, then I did the one with KDP. And again, I'm getting good reviews with it. So I don't know why people are getting bad reviews with theirs, unless they have some weird thing. So yeah, I actually do think I got a bonus this month, and I'm not sure because I got more money from Amazon than I expected. So I have to kind of look at that one to figure out that. But that I don't pay attention to that email account. All it does is it's Amazon purchases, and I don't need to see that. So yeah, Germany is, and everyone told me it doesn't do really well with cozy mysteries, and my cozy mysteries are killing it over there. So I don't know what they're talking about. So I have to go back through and continue clicking. Yep, I actually did see that one. Yeah, all of mine are clean. My olive wins are clean. Um, yeah, Monster Smut does great in Germany. Um, the dark male romances, the Soren stuff does amazing. It's like I'm surprised whenever I look at my KDP report. I um no, they don't have to be in. Oh, you don't know what Monster Smut is, Jason? Oh, um, think tentacles. It can be anything. Yeah, there's a whole world out there. There's tentacles. It's not normal. Horns. Yeah, so I have, let's see, I have a Yeti in one. I have a reindeer. We won't discuss what goes on with those antlers. You got to have tentacles at least once. Yeah, the sentient. Oh, yeah, the sentient object. Yeah, that one. Who's the one who did it with the who has the cheese and then got featured in a cheese store? There's tons of money to be made in Monster Smut. Tons of money to be made in Monster Smut. People love Monster Smut. Yeah, see, I can't remember who it was. It was so funny. So she had someone shifted to cheese into cheese. Don't ask me. I don't know the whole thing. There is a monster romance one, yes. I called it Monster Romance versus Monster Smut, just to be nice. Because if I do advertise stuff and it did show up, I didn't want it to say smut on the screen. And then use the spice injector. Oh, yeah. And by the way, Opus 4.8, speaking along these lines, will not write what 4.7 was writing or 4.6 is writing. 4.8 refuses to write Soren's books, even though he's written the last 10 books that Soren has done. And he refuses at this point. He told me he would give me ideas for him. And so just to let you know, he's having a pearl clutching moment at the moment. And I don't care how people say how awesome he is. It doesn't make a difference. He was like, no, nope. Look up Monster Smut. Seriously, search for it. Really? Maybe it's because mine's brutal. Mine's not nice. Mine is very, very dark. So I do that too. And he like went off on me yesterday and I actually deleted that chat because he got me so pissed off. So he refused. He said, I don't care if I did it yesterday. So I don't know. I honestly think that everyone has different versions. I think that they honestly do. Since it's technically everything that they are putting out right now is technically still in beta. See, and I won't use Grok, but I do have I do use other systems, but I will not use Grok. Yeah, it was really weird because he had no problem doing the spice injector, but he wouldn't write the actual scenes just like I had it. Because usually what I have is I have a plugin that will write all 5 mini little novellas. They're like 20,000 words, and it will write all 5 of them, whether they're interconnected, matching, or whatever. And he would not do it. He flat out refused. So, whatever. I didn't have time to argue with him. But look up, yeah, I really do. Yes, Open Router and I are very good friends. He works with me with OpenClaw. So does anyone have any questions about this? I know that we've gone off tangent onto tangents. We're great at that sort of thing. We love that sort of thing, and I'm all for it because I keep them in the videos as well so people can see that we all discussed Monster Smut because we just need to do that. See, and I had no problems with 4.7. Yeah, I'd like to hear some things in the group about it. Um, yeah, Smut actually is a very good thing to have as a series. I actually have one that I need to revitalize because I did not do it justice. And if y'all want to know, it was about the Tooth Fairy. So, yeah, that was my Monster Smut. And I really like the covers of that one too. And I did plan out the whole series, but I did not do it justice. I didn't do it justice, and so I do need to go back and fix it. But if you think about it, the tooth fairy is a bone fairy. She collects bones. She's collecting bones. Yes. My tooth fairy book is a monster smut book. It's considered monster smut, but I didn't do it justice, so I'm not so don't read it. It got really bad reviews because of it. I actually was writing it when Joe got sick. So that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. But the tooth, I mean, so there's a whole spin-off of it too, by the way. I have a whole spin-off. So I did plan this whole thing. But I think that I need to fix it and keep the cover because the cover was still hot. So does anyone have any questions of the stuff that we're actually discussing? We'll have a whole